Let's make my thyme and Parmesan drop biscuits. They are so easy to make, but even better, you're gonna love the incredible texture. They're light and fluffy, and they pair wonderfully with any cozy weeknight meal. Let's get started. I love making this recipe in a food processor because it is so easy. If you don't want to drag yours out or you don't have one, you could also use a bowl and a pastry blender or a dough blender to just mix it together like you would a pie crust. But we're going to start putting the dry ingredients into the bowl of the food processor. And then we're going to add a little bit of sugar for sweetness and some kosher salt and baking powder to give them a really nice light fluffy texture. Now I'm just gonna pulse it a few times just to simply mix together these ingredients. Now I've got cold butter. Again, similar to a pie crust, we are adding cold butter so that when the biscuits bake, the steam that the cold butter releases helps that texture. So we'll cube it right now. You could also cube it in advance and stick it back in the fridge to really make sure that it stays nice and cold. Put the cold butter in, and then we're gonna pulse it just a few times until like little pea-sized butter pieces form. There's little butter crumbles throughout. So now we're gonna go ahead and add Parmesan cheese, freshly shredded, and then thyme. And for ease sake, I'm just going to pull it off and stick the leaves right in because they'll get blended up. But if you want them finer, you can roughly chop them before you add them in. I mean, we're gonna be here for a minute. If you wanted to use dried thyme, you could. Just make sure you have the amount because it's more concentrated in flavor. Okay, so now we're gonna add the milk, and then we will pulse it and blend it until like a moist dough ball forms. Here we go. That didn't take long at all. Now the dough will be sticky. If it seems a little too sticky, you can either add a little more flour or flour your hands. But we are gonna drop these on a baking sheet and then they're ready to bake. I like to do about a 1/3 cup of dough. So you could use a scoop, your hands, doesn't matter. We're gonna make about 6 drop of biscuits. So I just put a little flour in here in hopes that it doesn't stick. You could also grease it. Just drop that out. They're all set to bake. They're dolloped on the pan. It's so easy. Now, I've got some flaky sea salt that's infused with thyme, and I thought it would be perfect for these. So, totally optional. You do not need Arctic thyme flaky sea salt, but if you have some, what a nice touch. If you'd like a little extra salt, you could also just use regular flaky salt. All right, now we're gonna pop them into a 400-degree oven for about 18 to 20 minutes until they're nice and golden brown. They smell so good. I'm just so excited to dig into these. My favorite way to serve these is with a little whipped honey butter. Just the sweet and savoriness is so good. You can also add an extra drizzle of honey. Wait. They're so soft, pillowy, they're tender. The thyme shines through, and those little bits of Parmesan throughout are irresistible. You saw how easy they were to make. They're the perfect biscuit for a cozy weeknight dinner. Your family's gonna love them. Join me back here next week for another meatless meal that everyone will love. And until then, happy eating. So good. Yay, Becca. That steam. It's not steam. Look at that dust. Okay, great.